hey, it could honestly go either way. But Reactor to kick us off. Both teams having incredible wins on this one. And actually, it involves Rise. 300 to 203, of course, Vanquish beat Rise in Swiss Group A. They lost 2-3 in the end. And likewise, we casted over actually Fearzly defeating Rise 300 to 154 on this map too. A really strong map for both these two teams, and it's the first one of the series.
We are off to the races here, and Vanquish with a nice initial will get first control over this hill and be able to get set up on a flip in. Fearzly did pick up the torque bolt, but he died right away, transitioning towards middle. So currently VQ in a great position with 3 players assessed in front of them. They're going to back up, and with a nade from Acells, they'd be able to sit comfortably here for a while, allowing the Fire and Ice squad to have to push into them, to push in, to make a play. Xploidz dodges one shot, delivers the damage back. He gets help mid-map. The beautiful timing from him to wait from Fearzly, to wait for help, to stay cool, calm, and collected, and Fire and Ice breakthrough Vanquish's setup.
Look at that gorgeous setup from the middle, though, from Fire and Ice. The crosses were beautiful. Hndles and VQ, they just couldn't chain revive to it. And here we are, Hndles getting caught out. And in the galleys as well of Reactor as he runs around. And VQ staggered once more. Xploidz trying to get out of there. And 15 seconds to go off this first hill. And look at the positions. F&I have the advantage for that next hill. They're setting up in the spawn already. VQ need to go right through the front door with as much aggression as they can get, as they can muster.
Yeah, there are no other power weapons coming up for about 40 seconds. Shot grenades in 10. But Vanquish grouped up. They're going to let Hndles get the shot grenade and get an anchor there towards the mid-map to give them as much intel as he possibly can. But now with the hill transition, VQ 18 seconds to play around with, looking for an opening. They're going to shift some help on over to help out Hndles. It's going to be him and Xysho trying to force the 2v2 fight up top. Down low, this is Acells in the man Precision, looking to get a pinch through the spawn side. Nice shot grenade from Hndles, allows his team to get a kill across from afar, but Dsylexic with a beautiful point blank, only a down coming through for him. Off the flip end of the map, Xploidz finds a kill. Precision cleans it up. VQ 2v2 fight for now, but Precision with some long range damage is able to help his squad secure the hill. Now for now, Fearzly, he's gonna get caught out as well. VQ, nice fight.
Yeah, really good fight and a hard-fought fight as well. Fire and Ice were lasting for so long. Here they are, straight off the short spawn, and looks like they still want those 25 seconds. Acells with a turbo. I'm sure he has other ideas, though, to try and hold on to this. Xploidz not liking what he sees, though, of course. Nice rotation over to the opposite corner. Dsylexic hanging around. Yeah, he's definitely the target. He's so far away now that if they can take out Dsylexic and lead that into a 4v3 until the next hill, that'll be a big advantage for VQ.
A big advantage indeed. He may get caught out. I love the angles that VQ are taking, but Dsylexic, he tried to stay back, tried to put himself in a forward positioning, but his teammates, they retreat off the next hill because Precision is doing what Dsylexic tried to do and draw multiple players away, but he is doing it more successfully here in the moment. As you will see, he successfully pulled off Fire and Ice away from that hill. VQ, after taking down Dsylexic, they move in, they get set up. Now F&I, they're playing back into the hands of VQ, but Acells having a torque bow.
Another stick, looking for the second. He just keeps staggering the numbers with these torpo picks, leaving F&I in a really troublesome spot. Tries to get another pull, not going to connect, and Dsylexic stuck against that corner. Hndles being challenged at the front, though. A 1v2 presents itself for Acells as he gets one, looking for the second. Lovely meat shield, and that will be the 1v2 coming out from him. Brilliant stuff from them. Meanwhile, Xploidz is going to save his teammate in the process. They're still very much on this F&I.
Fire and Ice looking to move in, take control over the hill, but they're going to be met with the crossfire. VQ, 2 players down, talking to their team, letting them know, you guys should not push in and decap this one. Wait for us to come off the respawn, because these boys are hitting shots, but Dsylexic with a quick reaction gives his squad a brief man advantage. With 20 seconds left on the hill, Fire and Ice is going to choose to disengage, rotate for next, use their numbers wisely. They understand it is a chess game against Vanquish, and they cannot get too overzealous. They cannot get too loose against these guys. Not yet. Not until they can control the pace. But with 2 kills coming through, Fire and Ice, they'll be set up at new.
Yes, they will. Excellent breakdown of their setup there. Meanwhile, Precision, he does hold on to that map control point. He's got the Lancer angle ready to go when his team comes spawning in. Meanwhile, Xploidz, a star power weapon player this past weekend, and he needs to come out the gate swinging with the torque bow now as VQ do collapse in their position.
Now Xploidz got intel on players towards the middle. Got players wrapping around here from the swarm spawn side. Fearzly's calling for help, but he's ready to deliver a back A shot from hell to take down one of these BQ members, but he repositions instead, does not want to be a hero. He wants to play it smart. He says, Xploidz, take out one, get some damage out on these guys, and he's going to do just that. Finds himself a kill. Xysho is going to get hunted, but he has support fire coming from screen right. F&I will give him the respect in which he deserves, but Hndles knows that he can't show any respect in a moment. They need some kills. They need to get it, make it a staticky fight, as I like to say, because Fire and Ice feeling too comfortable in the moment. In VQ, they have the points to work with, and you see it showing in their confidence.
Finally, VQ do break through that defense, and look at Fearzly. Just literally just waiting out for this next hill now, and they held the majority of the points. And honestly, for F&I, with such a good defense, there's some well-earned points there despite VQ's pressure, and they'll be very happy with the amount of points they got given, considering the pressure coming from VQ. Let's see. Can VQ push on through this spawn where Fearzly is this far back? Xploidz is there ready. F&I definitely have the advantage setup-wise. Whether Hndles can provide enough damage to open up the push here in this 3v3 situation with just a little bit of cross.
Just a little bit?
Let's see.
That's a lot of cross. That's a
huge amount now because they're not moving, guy. I'm
Yeah.
surprised that they're not moving yet, actually. And VQ are just waiting. Hey, okay, now they're full red. Let's go in immediately. Precision. There you go. Opens it up with the down on Dyslexic. Xploidz realizes that wall has to fall and he has to come back.
They understand that with that down coming through, somebody's going to break their setup. But the one thing that's working out for Fire and Ice is Fearzly anchoring over towards the spawn. He never budged. Even with a shot grenade behind him, he never faltered. And because of that, Fire and Ice were able to fight their way back out of that VQ's aggression. So with that being said, F&I, they finally break that 100-point marker, only down by just 30 points in the moment, with 2 nades in the hands of Toti. He's gonna bait these players just right, make sure at least one cannot escape. He can pocket the next, work his numbers with the squad. Acells moves in, he goes down. A little team kill action happening with Fearzly, but ultimately it's gonna be Fire and Ice with control and soon to take the lead.
It's truly brilliant for Fire and Ice. Despite all that pressure, they were able to get the nades and the torque while holding onto that hill. That's insane from F&I. And they're doing it against Vanquish, guy. Like, this is so excellent from F&I so far. They do just need to keep this up. Look where Fearzly is, though. Trying to sneak around the far right corner to get the stick in the back. Meanwhile, VQ, they do not care. They're going to carry on pushing on forward and still get that numbers advantage and push out in that spawn. VQ got a really good setup here with just 1 point advantage going into this next hill.
Oh, just 1 point advantage, but an advantage it is. And VQ understands that they have rotated early for the next hill. They're going to be set up, and now with them building this lead, they get to be able to play defensively, let Fire and Ice play into their hands. And this is where VQ is usually at their strongest, which is wild to me, because when it comes down to it, they have such breakthrough and slaying potential to break setups. Just an overall all-around great squad, and it's how they made it here. But Fire and Ice with a creative shot to back up that Vanquish player off that power position in the corner. Precision holding his ground. Some L triggers over the top. Fire and Ice trying to revive through it, but Vanquish isn't moving. Xysho with a beautiful Lancer angle. Acells and Hndles, they're there for the support. And Hndles doing Hndles-like things on the flank, forcing his opponent to have to turn their heads. Vanquish, another beautiful setup here at the hill, but with 35 points remaining, these players of Fire and Ice, they know that they can't play around. They got to get in, get some time now, stop Vanquish, because if they die in this moment, they may get some better spawns for next.
It's so true. Acells, one more nade to go, and he uses them both and gets 2 kills. Excellent stuff from Vanquish, and that's going to stagger them, right? F&I are flying over to the next hill now. They know they've got the turbo. They have an opportunity to set up for this next hill, but VQ, they don't care. They're going to try and fly it across the map with their numbers and beat them to it. And when we're approaching the 300 mark and we get to that central hill, timing is everything. And Fearzly, it's down to him to try and get some sticks with the turbo. See what he can do on the side. Acells, excellent shotgun victory there in that shotgun battle. And now Xploidz hanging out on this pillar. Excellent stick from Fearzly, thinning out the numbers a little bit. Hndles doesn't mind, he pushes on through nonetheless. And Vanquish get control of this hill. Fearzly is causing such a ruckus around the back, and even Toti in the far corner is being challenged now as VQ go for the whole round on Reactor here. On that pinch, Fearzly will fall, and now VQ should have a good hold on this center hill.
Vanquish 30 toes deep here at the center line hill. 60 seconds remaining in it. Dsylexic trying to get creative. He's being patient, if anything, knowing that he has a big fight in front of him, but he needs help. Help's gonna come through, show their numbers, but they don't know that the Dsylexic is there waiting in the wings, and quickly 3 players are shown from the side of Fire and Ice, but with the Lancer Fire coming in from screen left from Xysho, you see how Hndles and Acells, they can hold the front line of the fight with ease, as Vanquish will win another team fight. They can collect on the rest of the time in this hill. Would it be in 30 points? That's a good chunk of change, Toby. Fire and Ice, they're looking to rotate for next, and they will be set up, but if they can't win this team fight, if they can't get comfortable here, what is it for? As they try to, Xysho stun, the support fire. Look at the Lancer bullets flying from screen left, screen right. Fire and Ice having a difficult time, but Xysho, he finally falls, and Vanquish will disengage for now. But as I say that, Precision says, hey, I'm not backing up from any fight.
Yeah, this pressure is insane. I'm surprised that Fire and Ice is still alive in this situation after all that lancering, as you mentioned, coming from the side. VQ, they had the advantage coming from the center hill with the 30 seconds left, and they got there first with the right-hand advantage and all the angles of the world. Amazing. Frag grenade going in. Dsylexic full red has to get fully out of there. And this is essentially, I mean, a 4v3. If number 3 gets close enough, he can certainly push on in. Xploidz with the torpedo though. And it's only a 4v3 if he can't get any significant damage or sticks. He needs to hit them. Shock grenade to the side will stop Vanquish from pushing in that side, but I don't know. It's a big shotgun fight right in the center. Fearzly gets the double, and that might have just cemented themselves on this hill. Precision stuck at the back. Xysho with yet again another Lancer kill, as downs do run out for Fire and Ice, but it doesn't matter for Xploidz. He regroups on the hill and makes his presence known. Well played, and F&I 40 seconds to go with the numbers here.
Now, with the time ticking away, Fire and Ice, we talked about how they had to streak out and turn up just a bit. With their backs against the wall, they turn up the heat, looking to put Vanquish on ice. Xploidz gets a revive, finds another kill, and now they are on the run, looking to get towards next. Vanquish is set up, but player 6, Toti, he's giving his team all the intel, says, yo, we got 3 in the hill, the 4th just spawned over here. We got some time to rotate, get the pinch, get set up. I need a little bit of help as well. Fearzly hears the call. He sees the bat signal in the sky. He's going to start rotating towards the spawn, but on screen, Xploidz looking to get some early damage in, but instead, he's taking the damage, the pinch, the back A's. Fire and Ice, they will break through. Vanquish on their back foot. They need to do something. Precision trying to stay alive in the moment, but now he's angled out. He has to disengage, but help is on the way. Xysho towards the back of the spawn. A point blank connects, but he's going to be patient because Hndles, Precision, they know it is their turn to move in, put out some damage, but Fire and Ice disengaging, repositioning. They have the support fire. They're trying to play into the hands of Xploidz. They know he has their back, but one player goes down. He's clean. Make it a second. Make it a third. Vanquish, they're looking to get in, and in this map with just 24 points needed, they're gonna start collecting.
Despite all that effort from Fire and Ice, Vanquish had short spawn the whole time, guy, and so unfortunate to see for them, and now they have to do it all over again with one last push from the front.
Now, Fire and Ice, 2 players down. Vanquish some more shots over the top. F&I, they see the victory moving away from their fingers, just slipping through each and every nail and crevice as Vanquish will take map number 1. It was a close one, but most importantly for the Vanquish fans, they just set the tone for this series. Acells, 14 kills, 8 deaths, 14 assists. That backpack feel a little heavy, but ain't nothing he can't handle because, you know, Xysho leaves some of that pressure with 21 assists, most damage on the squad.
GG. Congrats to Vanquish on that first map, and a very telling map, honestly. From me, Blaze, the difference in the score is quite substantial, despite them having very similar results against Rise on this map in this major so far. Yeah. It's really telling to me because, you know, usually you can have a huge criticism of Control, right? One team wasn't rotating early enough. One team was just absolutely dominating the lane department. But no, honestly, oftentimes, both teams were going back and forth as to who was rotating early, right? Who was on the defense, who was on the attack. Fire and Ice had some incredible breakthroughs on the defense of Vanquish, somehow getting them when we really didn't expect to see it. Some great torpo usage as well. But honestly, at the end of the day, especially on those last two hills, Guy, the short spawn was the bane of the existence of Fire and Ice there. Each time Vanquish got wiped on what seemingly shouldn't have happened in the first place, Fire and Ice just going off, clutching up. The short spawn just came in for Vanquish, and they just came straight back in, just like nothing happened. And it's so unfortunate to see. I guess it's telling, right? Because of Vanquish, the defense is so strong that Fire and Ice have to commit all those members. That was the only way they were doing it. They can't just send an extra man to ensure that short spawn was blocked. And perhaps it's a really good sign as to actually how good Vanquish are on defense. Even in some of these replays, we'll see some of the Lancers on the kill feed. I think Xysho had like over 5 Lancer kills in the kill feed, just running out of downs for FNI. Yes, they were getting the revives, but it didn't matter in the end. Oftentimes, no, because Vanquish were just so on point at staying alive, at keeping up the pressure, just like here. Now Xysho with a shotgun this time around, dancing around the pillar, that it really meant little in the end. And all of these little things add up to the scoreline that we saw, I think.
No, they truly do. They truly do add up. And Toby, you broke it down perfectly right there as well. And now here in the moment, you know, you're going to have, you know, VQ. The one thing to take away, especially when it comes down to both these squads, is that we have 8 of the 12 best Gears of War players in the world, okay, currently playing. 8 are from LATAM, okay? And the thing is that these battles are going to be so close. One thing that we know at a basic level is that they can hit shots. But at the next tiers, okay, when it comes down to the teamwork, the rotating early, not getting in that close quarter shotgun chunk range and playing for damage from afar, those are the skill sets that are going to win them a chip. Those are the skill sets that you've been practicing throughout scrims, throughout the pro league. It's not about the individual skill. Yes, we see some highlight moments. Yes, throughout the day from the 1v1 spots, we've seen players like Raver take over. But ultimately, in that map in which we just watched, it came down to teamwork, foresight, and just completely just outplaying your opponent on a chess level. Yeah, they got into some team fights. And the thing is that even though Fire and Ice had rotated early on some hills, and even Vanquish rotated early on some hills as well, ultimately, that was step one. Then step two came down to how they can navigate the chaos. How can players be selfless in a team fight and say, you know what? Yeah, this is my guy, but it's more important as he's reloading for me to help my teammate out over here. Find a quick guy to be able to get a 2v1 on throughout the chaos. BQ, when it comes down to navigating that, they do that so well. And it's actually crazy because it's like all 4 players instinctively, they know when each other needs help. They know when they need to be close by. They know when somebody's on fire and he doesn't need any help at all. And they get to use that confidence to gain speed off a rotation, off a power weapon pickup, and all of that compounds until you just feel like you can't do a damn thing. So it's crazy out here. But VQ, man, that was a great map number 1 for him. But we got to head on over towards the execution, Toby. And this is where Fire and Ice is going to have to step it up.
High pressure environment, winners bracket final, and really test the other team to see how they react.
Ooh, we'll see if they can do that, Toby. You make some fantastic points, and I think that Clock Tower is going to win somebody an event today. I don't know who it's going to be, but this map is going to get somebody a chip. It's either going to be here or even maps like Checkout. When it comes down towards that 1v1 position, rather if it's Acells or Hndles or Toti or Dsylexic, they have to have a presence round in and round out. Because you see, when you have that consistent pressure, your opponent starts to make mistakes. You don't want them to be able to see all 4 players on the map. You shouldn't want them to be that damn comfortable. You want to give a different look. But sometimes in big time matches and on the biggest stages out there in the world, you just want to play it safe to start, right? You want to have a breath of fresh air. You want to see if the base strat can get you a few rounds and you don't have to dig into your deep bag. You don't have to take any crazy risk. But without taking risk, how you plan on winning a chip? Like, let's be honest about it, folks. You can't be playing this one safe and be a Gears of War esports champion. You can't. You got to take some. You don't have to take an occasional 1v2. You're gonna have to have confidence in a 1v1. But the thing is about it is that if you want to be victorious, if you want to be the best player in the world, you got to act like it.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And just as you're saying that, we've got a little bit of a stalemate, it's safe to say, up top. Both players at the back, on the back wall, one with utility out, and maybe even two, actually.
All
no,
four
just
utility
the one,
grenades
I
still
think.
in play.
Yeah. Exactly, and this is crazy. I love the tension to at least start with, but you are right with the points. Let's see. Smoke grenade is thrown out, and looks like Vanquish are on the move.
Put it down, coming through. First blood, Fire and Ice quickly traded out, but still F&I with an advantage here. Give him another kill, and it's all up to Xysho. You saw absolute chaos there towards the last portions of the round, and you know it happened simultaneously between both squads. Toti, I missed on who actually initiated it, but we know who finished it, and Fire and Ice were able to get the kills that they needed there.
Yeah, I think it was actually F&I that initiated that in the end. I misspoke because the utility was just so fast from both teams that it was actually hard to see in the moment, right? Excellent stuff from F&I and lots of confidence, clearly, right? So to initiate that, 3 players on the middle pillar I saw for a moment. Let's see. We knew this was going to be close, right, guy? You know, last time they played each other on this map, VQ beat F&I in Pro League 6-5. That's how close it was, and that was all the way back in Pro League, and now here we are in Winners Bracket Final, and both teams are showing the utmost respect, right? They don't want it to play too risky at the very start. They want to feel each other out and see if they can take off take the enemy guard or off guard mid-round with the utility usage, as we just saw from Fire and Ice.
Bro, like... Right, so like you say, just so much respect between both these squads, but as we know, this center line heal will not be spawning up top this round. Xploidz with a quick snipe pickup. He goes down, he's cleaned up. Fearzly goes down as well. And on Fire and Ice's good side, they took a risky opportunity at going for the quick pick on Sniper, and VQ will capitalize. And so one thing that we're going to start seeing, okay, is that when it comes down to the 4v4 strap, my God, okay, I understand that you guys are you got so many duos here, but Hndles, Xysho, Acells, Precision, why are you clapping for him? This ain't nice. This isn't sportsman-like. But at the end of the day, VQ, the villains here of Gears Esports, man, they don't give a damn, okay? They're going to have a great time. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they will get this one tied up 1-1. But back to my original point, okay? 4v4, it's... You know, to be the team to make the first move is hard, okay? Because if you go down, your opponent has everyone there to be able to trade out those kills. I still think, even though the 4 strategy has been consistent throughout our Pro League, sending the guy down low is still the better play. And Dyslexic, Toti didn't let him off his chain. Now he's on the flank. Focus fire in 1. He goes down, but the distraction was there. He gets taken out a little bit too much. Some friendly fire coming through on the side of VQ. But ultimately, the damage is there. They have the advantage. More body shots on Toti, and Vanquish should be able to win this round.
Should be bar miracle from Xploidz. Lovely steam trained Hndles there, but it's not going to be any more. Some more teabagging. This means a lot, clearly, to Vanquish. It's safe to say this matchup from how they're reacting, but no, that was an excellent response. You got to give it to them. They just turned around like there was nothing happening, right? Oh, there's a player on a flank, by the way. Yeah, I've shot him once, just finish him off. Yeah, cool. And then just turn around like nothing. No threat was ever present, and it's insane to see. I think honestly that flank was fast, and they tried to repeat kind of like a Raver strategy, but it didn't work in the end because the rest of the players weren't following up in the middle up top. In fact, they were even getting the snipe at the same time. VQ just won top and turned around.
VQ was doing that. I just think Dyslexic died too soon. He has to be more of a nuisance. Ultimately, if he's able to turn 2 players' heads and focus, at least just get 1 player to focus on him, his squad can find an opening. And as you said, VQ is getting that snipe. That's a big opening. Fire and Ice, they get to snipe this round. Xysho, he doesn't want to go down without a fight. Not trying to let that player get out without putting out some damage. A down came in on Fearzly, but Fire and Ice has reset the fight, and they will clean up the round. We're all tied up 2-2.
It was looking shaky as well for F&I, wasn't it, when they got the snipe? It was like, oh yeah, they're actually leading now, and they were able to get out, but no, somehow VQ were getting downs out of nowhere, Blaze, and in the end, F&I, the chain revives were just there in time to not even lose a single soul in the end. And honestly, I hope they don't get demotivated and actually over that loss of the strategy with Dyslexic flanking, because it is a good idea, but they just need to implement it correctly. They've got right hand down low again this side, but they're not going to go for it. Instead, it'll be 4v4 up top once more.
All right, here we go. With the 4v4, it's a slow start. It's going to be Vanquish on their good side. And what makes it their good side is Precision having a right hand to defend against that middle. Also, it's a lot easier to be able to pick up the sniper there. The cover, when it comes down to that mid pillar, it isn't equal, even when it comes down to the distance on both ends. So it's going to be the Swarm squad that is going to be in a position to make a move first. Fire and Ice does not mind playing defensively from this position. Precision with the flash in hand off the back pillar. 2 in the same position. Dyslexic shimmies on over and it's quickly negated. Snipe pickup for Xysho, but that's how the strat was designed. They don't mind wasting 2 flashes to get one of the best snipers in the game, his favorite weapon. But as he's getting pressed, you're going to see the Grinch towards the back pillar, looking to spoil the plans of Xploidz, but he will be able to retreat. And the entire Vanquish squad will disengage. They saw about 3 players on their screen. They spread out for nades, and they may even get a chance to take their opponent's spawn if they're quick enough. But the Torque Bow pickup is an option. Ultimately, Vanquish, they're in the best advantage.
They are. They seem unstoppable once they get that snipe blaze. The defense is just insane. They took so long to disengage because they wanted to make sure every man was getting out alive and then coming back down. Yeah, they have the nades. They have right hand. This is textbook. They could actually make this work. Xysho getting down in the process with the chain revives there. All 4 players are flying up top and overtime is soon. Nades blocking off Toti as well. Sniper in hand of Xysho to still use, but F&I, they're holding on strong.
Where's the nade in the jail? Clock Tower 101. But I don't think Hndles played enough Gears of War back then throughout Gears 1 to know that, because you got to put that in. He would have got 2 kills. Instead, the first nade goes back pillar. The second, I didn't even see it. In the end, Vanquish, even with 2 power weapons, they don't use them effectively. And sometimes you see how that quick snipe pickup, if you don't hit your shots, giving up high ground, giving up that verticality, sometimes is a death sentence.
Yeah, and likewise, it could have been a very different round if the ring was down bottom as it is now, right? They'd never have to even go back up top, and then they'd have all the power weapons in the world and to best navigate then the next stage of play. Fire Ice, though. Awesome defense again.
With the smokes back pillar. The flashes on a secondary. A quick down and a cleanup. Fire and Ice feeling comfortable. They disengage, but Vanquish knows that they have to press forward. But they're going to take a breath of air. Now with Fire and Ice having this man advantage, Toby, they're going to get the nades. They're going to try to get the snipe. But with the nade indication, VQ presses forward because they know they have a quick 3v3. They got the kill in jail. They get the kill on host spot. They may even get the kill towards back jail on the stairs, but they will get themselves a sniper in the hands of Xysho. This was a round in which Fire and Ice should have won. They had a beautiful initial, but as soon as the nades were picked up, they had themselves in positions for VQ to be able to make a play, and that's unacceptable. You have to disengage, force VQ to just take as much time as possible to clean up those kills while Dyslexic is getting the nades.
Yeah, Xysho on the snipe. We've seen him produce clips from this very position before. Toti's down, and now it's a 3v1. It's simple. It was Fire and Ice's round to win, but now it's down to Xploidz to try and clutch up against VQ. Are going to take their absolute time. Xysho waiting just on the side here. 30 seconds on the clock. Xysho just wants a 1v.
Yo, he
wants him to come out.
Says peek. He says, I dare you. I double dog dare you. Peek out if you want to, Xploidz. Oh, he's going to take some free damage. Xploidz says, yo, I'm going to shoot you. Yo, imagine he wins this round somehow. I'm like not casting the rest of it. I'm like walking away, Toby. You're even here by yourself. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I know, right?
No one has to worry. Production, it's okay. I'm just capping right now in the moment. It is going to be a victory in the hands of Vanquish.
Oh, my goodness me.
But I respect Xploidz not even giving up. Xploidz says, I ain't going to give up the kill, you know?
Yeah, not succumbing to peer pressure, essentially. But no. Great first 6 rounds of this map, but yeah, Fire and Ice just get off mid-wall at that point, right, Guy? When you're getting flown at and you've just picked up nades and they are flying at you and you know Toti's barely out of nades, just get off mid-wall. That's clock tower
You gotta
101 for me, right? Why are you still there?
What play can Vanquish make against us, and don't let them do that, right? But the player on host spot didn't have the foresight to see that, and now we're all tied up 3-3. Flashes out towards the back pillar. Fire and Ice, they will counter with some smokes and flashes of their own. Looking for an angle, they push up. Fearzly has to disengage. A down came through, but the snipe in the hands of Xysho.
Fire and Ice trying to counter, flying through. Xysho in the back, gets the one, precision holds on as well. 4v2 Xploidz will crumble again as he goes down, and Toti as well. VQ right now have, as far as I'm concerned, F&I's number on this strategy guy. They just keep getting the snipe, whether it's at the start of the round, whether it's at the middle of the round. And yes, F&I have been able to respond at times, but more often than not, VQ just get out scot-free, right? And put F&I in a super difficult position where they know they're forced to push up or do something crazy in order to level the odds. And hey, who else is getting the snipe? But Xysho.
Yeah.
We've seen how good he is with the snipe on this map in particular.
Yeah, he is just super consistent at putting out damage. He always knows where to shoot, always knows where to pre-fire. You don't have to tell him what the play is going to be. He understands the simplest role of this game, and the simplest rule of Gears of War at its fundamental level is that damage is currency. And if you can put out a lot, you can cash that check. Toti looking to cash in on this round, get it all tied up 4-4. A down, a kill, a chunk, a punch. Fire and Ice, they're not out of this one just yet, as they keeping it close. This is a must-win map for them here on Execution to get this series all tied up 1-1, because I honestly think if they go down 0-2, I don't know if they can make this reverse comeback against Vanquish, but I will say this. We watched Rise give the formula to that one early on in this tournament, but this is a different day on Championship Sunday.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And F&I able to counter VQ's push there for the snipe, but can they keep that up? And likewise, can they start introducing those kind of strategies, right? Rather than just playing reactive all the time? Bit of proactivity. It comes back to our original discussion, right? About taking the ring, playing to win rather than not to lose. And you really need that against VQ, I think. They've been so proactive this entire phase. And F&I, you want to see that confidence, right? That energy that we've seen previously from them in the previous matches here at the Major.
Yep, we do want to see that
top
energy.
again, Dyslexic and co. They're not trying that flank again, are they?
No, they're not, and I'm honestly upset that they're not, okay? But granted, with them being on their good, well, them being on their bad side, they personally feel over here that Vanquish, they'll go for that sniper more times than not. And the way that Vanquish throws their flashes, it's hard to down Xysho as he's escaping. Throughout 8 rounds, Fire and Ice, I think they've only probably done it 1 round so far, stopping him from getting away with that snipe. Now, they have 1 rounds with him having it, but that's not before they've given him a chance to take 1 or 2 shots with that rifle. And with him being a player in which he is, that's all the opportunity and time in which you need to give him to get that kill with the scope. But in the moment, it's a 4v4. It's 4-4. Only a best of 3 remaining in this map with 28 seconds remaining. I think the neutral hill will be going up top, but as I say that, with multiple players breaking out down low, Hndles is going to take a super wide angle. Toti is going to opt for the nades, but does Hndles want to get a turbo with 15 seconds left? He thinks his Lancer angle is going to be just enough for his squad. It's still a 2v2 up top. Dyslexic went up momentarily for a second, but with 5 seconds left on the hill, who's going to bait the nades? The smokes. Do we get a stalemate here?
Someone going to try and sneak the ring as well during the chaos. Here comes F&I flying down bottom. VQ are trying to get there, but no, F&I beat them there. They just sprint into the air. VQ do not get there in time despite the positioning. Way back inside the talk board, near the talk board at least. F&I steal around. Okay. Check out this.
Yeah, so 30 seconds on the clock. You still got 2 players up top. F&I, 2 back rows. Vanquish, they're late on their back rows. Which 1 player with a foot in already, and I think that was Toti. Golly, Vanquish, they can't get slipped on like that, but Fire and Ice, they were decisive. They knew what they wanted to do. They have taken over this map, 1 round away from tying it all up 1-1. What a round that one was, chat. But here in the moment, Dyslexic squared up against Precision once again. Shoddy out for the defense. But with him swapping weapons, he needs to be careful because Precision uses that as an indication to push his 1v1. You pull out a flash, you pull out a pistol, he'll take at least one wrap shot and make it back for safety. So when you play that position for your squad, you have to have composure there, and just always keep your head on a swivel.
That's it, right? F&I, eyes peeled, of course, towards that sniper, saving the utility to react exactly when VQ might be proactive and try and go for that again. The tension is insane right now between these two teams. VQ cannot lose a single more round. Utilities out.
Boy, if I'm Dsylexic, I'm wrap shotting him right now. I love the flash there towards the back. Stun Toti, didn't stun Dsylexic, but Fearzly shifts on over with a beautiful angle. Quick revives on the line. The first kill comes through for the side of Fire and Ice, but quickly traded out. 3v3. This will slow down because everybody knows in this moment that we're not playing for anything more. The battle broke out, but step 2. It's get nades, maybe get a twerk bow. Toti, the cross, the foresight from Vanquish. They're a step ahead. Great comms from them. We may go to a round number 9. Fearzly is next on the hit list. The snipe pickup is called out, but Xploidz is looking for a kill. Precision with a land with the wrong weapon, but the damage is done. The kill is cleaned up. Barely 10 seconds. Surely not a 1v1. Xploidz, if he gets it down in a snipe, he might win, but he's going to choose to change his route. Instead, he knows that Xysho, he did enough. He stayed alive. He made the play difficult, but even with Acells, we saw he had 2 nades at the end. It was a cool, calm, and collected round for Vanquish there in that 2v1.
What an insane round, and I was about to just go off at Precision for just standing around with his answer out. Hey, just play your life. Why are you still there, you know? And when there's players hurling themselves towards you, I cannot believe you stand there.
But process, and at a certain point, he was like, damn, I got the wrong weapon now. Let me commit.
Yeah, damn, he's a bit too fast.
Just in the blink of an eye, the player was in his face. But we're here in the round number 9, kicking it off. Dsylexic playing a secondary versus Precision. He's smoked out. He takes a back row. Xysho with a dip. He's gonna rotate and get a hit on Xploidz face. Fearzly goes down. Fearzly cleaned up. Xysho with one of the smoothest initials that we've seen on Clock Tower to date in the round number 9. Vanquish with a 4v2 scenario. They looking to slow it down and collect on these last 2 kills. Dsylexic and Toti, the core of this Fire and Ice team, they got to do something spectacular if they want to win this round.
And it's still 5-5. You know VQ are going to take their absolute time with this. Very much like United we've seen throughout this major, take their time in these number situations. And with the snipe as well, they can keep map control of the numbers. They can take as long as they want. And honestly, Fire and Ice, they do not have many options. VQ already spread out down bottom. You can see the nades are being collected by Hndles now. And that's going to be really the token to push up top. And F&I realize they're going to try and push in one last effort.
Oh, and there it goes. Xysho putting out the damage. And you know what? He's a little bit short from that 12K, but I don't know if he's going to get some extra damage with those thrusts that he got here on Dsylexic there on the screen, but they're going to return the favor once again. Put both of them down. A few claps from Precision. Give Vanquish a round of applause, everybody, if you're a fan, because they will take map number 2 in a round number 9. Man, Toby, I don't know about you, but Clock Tower has to be one of my favorite maps to watch here in our game modes. But folks, Vanquish is up 2-0 here in the winners finals, 1 round away from going up 1 map in the grand finals. Can they do it? Can they get it done? We're about to find out right after this. I must say, we have some of the cleanest team skins in the game, so make sure you go out there and support your favorite squad. But it doesn't matter who you're supporting in this series, it has been a fantastic one. It's the Knights. Sorry, it is going to be Fire and Ice versus Vanquish here, and we are about to enter map number 3. Currently, Vanquish just completely edging out Fire and Ice in each one of these maps. So far, it's been domination, Toby. It's been a 2-0 for them. But I will say this. Throughout the weekend, Vanquish has been playing like themselves. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? Because I feel like the way Vanquish beats some of these squads from a player standpoint is super disrespectful. From a fan standpoint, it's super entertaining. And what I mean by that is that Vanquish always does a great job at making these games super close, super epic, and they find a way to demoralize their opponents with their victories by how cleanly they pull them through. And you could, you know, debate cleanly because of the scoreline, but, you know, it's just like, it's just something about their play style. The series with them are always so close, but they will beat you in a 3-0, 3-1 fashion.
Yeah. No, totally agree. And I'm just looking through these replays, mesmerized at the map we just saw, right? Look, it seems like almost every round was just so close, and it always came down to the ring or a snipe or something just edging the way, right? And Xysho, of course, going off with the snipe a little bit in the end. But that was kind of like the story of Clock Tower, was just how often VQ were getting the snipe, and it forced immediately into a reactive position. And catch back, of course, to when Dsylexic tried to be a little bit different with his team. He tried the flank, you know, courtesy of perhaps Raver popularizing it earlier on stream, and it just didn't work. It just totally got shut down immediately. VQ was just asking, why are you here, you know? But they tried it one round, exactly, and I also said it mid-cast, hey, I hope they're not demotivated. I hope they're not scared of trying that again, and instead, after that happened, I just feel like, okay, they're good, they're really good at this map, let's just sit back and try and react. And that's kind of, again, I've said it before, it's playing not to lose rather than playing to win. You have to play to win against VQ. You have to be proactive. And honestly, if it's not a flank, maybe even just try a 4 down low Rise style right at the end of the day. If VQ are just going to get sniped anyway at some point, and more often than not their success rate is really high, okay, just accept that and move on and try and out-strategize, outplay them, because you are playing that type of opponent in VQ. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. It's always coming down to really close rounds. That's twice now VQ have beat Fire and Ice 6-5. Of course, they did it in Pro League previously before on Clock Tower. That one round, that one strat change could have been the difference maker, and maps are huge in this matchup. Honestly, their chances of winning this series now, Fire and Ice losing that execution, have just gone down dramatically compared to what it was on map 1, and it's a missed opportunity for me, honestly.
Yeah, it went down dramatically as well, and so I came into this series saying that LATAM had a 66% chance at winning their first chip. If VQ goes into the grand finals from the winner side of the bracket with a 1-map lead, that drops to 40. Okay, Fire and Ice, they need to do it for the region, but they want the best chance that they have to coming back in this one. If not, it's just going to be a battle between Fire and Ice and PK to see who is the best to represent LATAM on this Sunday. But let's focus up on map number 3, Training Grounds, as Vanquish is looking at in this series in a 3-0 fashion. Fire and Ice, how are you going to survive? How are you going to protect your season in the last event of the season? You gotta fight back now, and you're starting to see Vanquish coming out with an early lead here on Training Grounds. They have the man advantage. Xploidz getting taken out as well, but F&I, they will get a capture at B, but they lose their home hill in the process.
Yes, they do. Something VQ are really good at actually on CG is rotating for those home hills. Always being proactive, always being in your face and causing you to rotate as fast as them. You know, usually VQ just sprint ahead or play on a different speed to their opponents. And it reminds me, I was describing Fire and Ice as being the same kind of thing, right, yesterday with E United, and Vanquish really, they're looking to do the exact same here against F&I feel like, and it's definitely something they really need to be aware of now.
Yeah, they truly do. Truly do. Fire and Ice off the respawn, knowing that they need to get their home hill back. Dsylexic trying to distract this third player into the defensive setup to give his team a clean 2v2 fight. The 2v2 fight that they're currently thriving in. Now Dsylexic getting a little bit too overzealous. He's going to move up. And that's right after Toti won his 1v1. Dsylexic didn't need to fight that, but ultimately Fire and Ice will get their home hill back, and they're still controlling 2 hills in the moment. But Vanquish knows that they need to use this opportunity to get the lead back. It is a player in God spot for Fire and Ice. He's able to get it down. It's Fearzly. So F&I is still thriving in the moment, and they have the setup in which they want. Don't get it confused, folks. Vanquish, even though they have the lead, they're the offensive squad having to play into the hands of Fire and Ice. But Fearzly says, I don't care if I'm on defense or offense. I just got to find kills.
Yep, timing out Hndles there as well as we approach the 200 mark. Fire and Ice, very good position, as you said. Question is, when VQ come off spawn, what is their approach, right? Are they just going to go flying over to the C hill? They've got overlook control at least. Meanwhile, look how spread out F&I are. They really are covering all angles. A little bit of a rotation coming out from Dsylexic, I believe, all the way over to the tower now. 20 seconds on the clock, and VQ, they're going to have to get moving very soon.
Now with this flash coming through, Xploidz stunned, but he's dipping and dodging, trying to get out of it. Doesn't make it. Dsylexic getting focus fire. The B hill may go in favor of Vanquish unless Fearzly can get the kill in which he needs. Dsylexic comes down to help. They're able to jump Acells, and in the late game, Fire and Ice, they're looking good to lock in round number 1. I don't think anybody can get to B in time. Nobody can do anything whatsoever. F&I, they strike first. We'll see how does Vanquish want to respond.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Really good stuff from F&I, and 4 kills actually for Fearzly in the end, doing so much work over at the B hill. And a really difficult fight, of course, isn't it? It's going to be like a story of 1v1s down there, as we've seen plenty of times throughout this major how important that position has been. We've talked about it a lot of times, actually, me and you, while casting, and it could be a storyline going into this one, given how strong these two teams are up on that U fight. Could really be the big difference maker.
Yeah, it could be the difference maker indeed, but we'll see who can reign, who can prevail when it comes down towards the end of the team fight. 3v3 heading over towards the Overlook. 1v1 at the range. It's a base strat for both these squads, but when it comes down to the damage at the heaven locations, Fearzly trying to shut VQ down, give his team an opportunity to work off their left hand. Down low, Xploidz, he's ready for the exit. He's going to get a flash behind, takes a little bit of damage. Xysho knows that he needs to get a kill on him now just in case his teammates die. But luckily for him, they win their fight. So because of his foresight, because he knew what his next objective was, he will quickly get onto the A hill. You're going to see one of the quickest dominations ever on training grounds.
Beautiful. Blink and you miss it. Honestly, 3 players just appear on the kill feed and it's all blue, taking kill after kill after kill, and that's such a deserved domination from VQ. Wasn't the fastest triple cap we've ever seen, but honestly in the end it was just so flawless from them that as soon as they got the kills, that's when the speed came in. Everyone knew where they were going, who was going to go down to the B hill, who was going to go push over the top. And look at this, for not even a reaction, it's even VQ that want to get that snipe down straight away. I'm sure Xysho is like, you know what, get the snipe down, let me continue to be proactive as a team. I will take that snipe and I will do work with it. And I'm not against that. Honestly, it's rare that we see the winning team, if you will, the team that just won a round, be so aggressive with the weapon placement.
Okay.
In fact, I like it coming out from VQ. In fact, we have a little bit of a pause, I think, coming in here from the two teams. But I'd like to take the moment, actually, Guy, while I remember to actually talk about this. I'm surprised we're even on this map. I'll be honest, Ev and I picked this map. Vazgar, I'm sure you've noticed in our cast and also watching a lot of the matches this weekend, they have dished out some incredible performances on Vazgar. 5-0 against PK on Escalation, or on Vazgar. Delivering a 5-0, that's huge. 5-2 against E United, and then 5-1 against Rise. I mean, come on, that's all in just the major alone, right?
But then they lost 5-0 the last time they played it.
But that's the thing. Vanquish have been so good on TG historically that that draws a line for me, right? In terms of record, the numbers 5-1 in Pro League of VQ. Meanwhile, F&I 3-3 in Pro League.
Yeah, you know what?
Honestly, I feel like they should take the opportunity of Vazgar against this team, because I'm sure if not, just go with Harbor if anything, because Vanquish have been so good. I'm in
disagreement, Toby. I think Harbor is both these teams' worst escalation map, and when it comes down to it, how you play Vazgar and the core of it, the way Vanquish plays it, I think it negates Fire and Ice's fast-paced playstyle, and Vanquish is super good at slowing the game down and setting the pace. But when you get over here towards training grounds, you allow Fearzly to get some more opportunities at 1v1s, but also the team fights are super simple for Xploidz and Dsylexic when it comes down towards the Overlook, and I think F&I just feels a little bit more comfortable. But both teams, their best map is Vazgar, I believe, on Escalation. The second best is Training Ground, so Fire and Ice must saw something here where they felt like they had a better chance. In this round, we will see them show us why that is what it is and why it is what it is. It's a B hill getting captured and a trip cap domination coming through as Fire and Ice will take round number 3 and go up 2-1.
An awesome round back as well. After a slight pause, didn't seem to take any energy out of their sails. A lovely triple coming out from a nice team wipe at the top. It's almost exactly what we saw from VQ, right? And this is what I said before. That up top fight is really good for both teams. You're right, it's a strong map for both teams regardless of where Vazgar sits there. And as a result, you know, both teams really do have to keep thinking about, hey, how are we going to approach this map? And I think that has really led VQ to thinking about that snipe placement initially. I'm curious actually as to how many resources both teams start putting into that weapon, because even on Vazgar, both these teams love putting down the snipe because they've got Xploidz and then you've got Xysho, two really good snipers on either side, and both teams really want to utilize those players. So really, it's either or in terms of which team really wants to favor this.
Vanquish gets in first, precision. He's going to be blocking the door off like a bodyguard, making sure no one can get in or out for free. He gets one down. Xysho stops the revive momentarily. The snipe's in hand, but it's going to be Fire and Ice who wins the big team battle off the start. They're going to be able to put the sniper back on respawn, and they're playing for their opponent's home hill, and Xploidz is going to have a 1v2 for the win of the round. He doesn't get this. He misses the second, connects on a third, cuts back, left hand, goes back to the right, point blank, doesn't connect. But ultimately, it is going to be Vanquish who will survive in this round. They will get Overlook control and get themselves set up to get the B hill back in their favor.
Yep, stunning movement. You saw number 8, Toti, they're actually pulling out of Overlook completely there as soon as his teammate was lost on home health. Full respect, right? They don't want to lose any numbers. They don't want to risk turning the map around. They're going to really rely on their 2 cap and hold and see how far that gets them here. 2 players stuck in the middle. That's precision on. Oh my goodness, double down as well. That's an opportunity for Xploidz to push on through, and even a straight route to C hill or a flank on Overlook. It could go well either way. Which way is he going to go? In fact, he's running all the way to the C hill, and Xysho under a lot of pressure now.
He is. He dodges the next 2 shots, but he can't get into the 1-shot range in which he wants. Acells has to rotate around, stand alive as long as he can. He gives up the B hill in hopes that he can rotate towards his opponent's home, and he will be able to. It's a great rotation. He doesn't go down. He gets in cover. The home hill decapped off the opposite end. Acells, if he gets a 1v1, he's in a good spot. It's hard for him to create it. He does his best, but he will draw 2 players towards that side of the map. He's going to allow his teammates to get set up at B, and Vanquish may have just brought themselves one more opportunity at a full team fight to get a chance at winning this round.
Sniping less than 10 seconds now. Big points lead for Fire and Ice. Lots of pressure now for VQ. Actually have to choose, hey, do we go for the snipe and try and make a play off that, or do we not have enough time? Likewise, F and I have to try and risk potentially going for that instead. Right now they're going for the B hill. They've both jumped on the hill. They've capped it up, but 2 players are down. That might be the ticket now for Vanquish to fly and look for that triple cap.
Now Vanquish, knowing that they don't have much time to work with, but they got a lot of time at the same time. And what I mean by that is that if it's going to be one more perfect play, one perfect push from them, use your time wisely. You technically just need a decap in the late game. If they can do that, the win condition can switch into their favor. The snipe comes over a bit late, but that's not before you see the players of Fire and Ice get 2 kills. No body shot.
Excuse me?
Dyslexic with a beautiful spread there. He wins his battle. The 1v1 is lost by Acells off the opposite end, and Fire and Ice will take a 3-1 lead in the first half of Training Grounds, Toby. And F and I, they're fighting back. They're doing a fantastic job here in this escalation. I think they picked it right.
I think you could be right. You know, I think you could be right, honestly. I mean, it does go either way, I guess, when you look at the strength of these 2 teams on these particular maps. They are good escalation teams, right? It's an absolute pleasure to be seeing them playing against each other in this manner. I mean, a brief look at the stats, right? Anything standing out to you, Blaze, apart from 0 to 7 for Hndles right now after 4 rounds?
I'm not even mad at him for that, just because the fact is that he has the 7 assists. You know, he's spawning up, he's putting out the damage for his team, but the kill isn't coming through for him. And when it comes down to his positioning on the map, I do believe he is going to be the player who is going to be playing that whole spot. So he's away from that big team fight from the squad. So if they lose that, he's in a difficult spot. But on the flip end, Fearzly he was deathless for most of the map, and that's Hndles' matchup. You can already see on the mini map, Fearzly is pressing him. Right? Yeah, he's going to be pressing him down low.
It's the 1v position. He's making great use of it. He's getting value from his position, and it's making a difference here. Look at this for a team fight. Xysho with 2 downs. He will get taken down, though. Dyslexic saves the day. 4v2. Precision in a lot of trouble now as he's getting pinned. Snipe still to play for. Lots on the field for Fire and Ice to gain now in terms of map control and power weapon control. Xploidz flies through. His reward, he gets the sniper and the 2 hills. And now for F9, brilliant headshot. And here comes Acells flying in as well. Suddenly, VQ are crumbling. The numbers are falling by the wayside. Xysho will get shot down. And now F9, they can just run through TG and take their triple cap.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go up 4-1 against Vanquish in map number 3. And Vanquish, they need to find a way to get back into this map. But luckily for them, they got 2 already on the board, okay? They can give this one up and keep composure going to the next. But yeah, look at the revive, how clutch it was. I believe that was from Toti. Hits it before he goes down to the point where Xysho wasn't expecting it. And then Xploidz with a beautiful snipe there.
Back and forth you fight, and it looks like Acells, yep, is going to place that torpedo. We've seen this before, right, guy, where 2 teams will just place a weapon on the other side of the map to literally counter, right, and split up the players and try and force a more of a 2v2 scenario. But that is, of course, map control. That is, of course, the E-hill position. So will that influence the opening strat for either team? Looks like we're going to have a 3v2, the late rotation from number 3. Xysho to try and influence things here.
Acells flies in the back, he gets it down. Precision's working in tandem to get 2 kills across the map. It will be a sniper picked up for Toti, but does he get safely back? He will. Now he has an opportunity to put himself in the shooting range until his teammates spawn up, but man, is he dealing with some insane bots on the opposite end because they're not missing any shots. Toti goes down. He should get a revive soon. Vanquish, they get the torque bow. Precision looking to go on a tear, but he doesn't have help from his teammates across map to get to the home hill. Instead, Vanquish, they will hold 2 and allow Fire and Ice to play into them.
Yeah, honestly, VQ, hats off to them. I think it's safe to say they won the initial there. 3v2 up top. You get map control, you get the E-hill, and you get the torque bow. And we've seen how effective the torque bow is on TG, right? It's quite rare, actually, to see torque bow being used so effectively to get so many kills. It's just kind of the way the map is built, right? In this instance, just as I spoke, the snipe, the speed actually benefits it for the torque bow in a showdown. But here we are on TG. The torque bow is shot down. He's going to be gone. And now it's a 3v2 actually up top now. But then to take use of. Fire and Ice can fly through here.
Dsylexic is so hurt. The blind fire over the top of the cover puts him down, but quickly revived. And now it's gonna be Vanquish with their backs to the wall with just 1 heal to their name. What a headshot from Xploidz. Catches Precision in a row.
Oh my
takes
God.
down Hndles. Says back up to the respawn. This is not your home hill. Alleviating the pressure from Fire and Ice. Xploidz turn up here on the main stage Championship Sunday. And you love to see those snipes out of him. When he's hitting shots like that, Toby, Fire and Ice is in full form.
Xysho, move aside. You're not the only good sniper in this map, it's safe to say. Xploidz holding his nerve and staring at damage players for VQ. Body check comes through, but still 40 seconds needed for Fire and Ice to hold out to win this round. Vanquish still with the points lead. They certainly are in a chance still of winning this round. Xploidz with 1 shot left, aiming towards this side of the map.
Fire and Ice, they win off for 2. Vanquish, they're trying to get through to get a decap at the neutral hill. That's a big down from Hndles, turns it into a 2v2, but a quick turnaround from Dsylexic. He's able to get both downs on a flippy, and Xysho trying to press this 1v1 to get to D, but it will be Fire and Ice here in map number 3. They fight back. They show that they are not out of this series just yet, and it's going to be a 5-1 victory for them.
And look at this for revenge as well. Teabagging is returned. What beautiful stuff from Xploidz on the snipe there. I think shocking us with a lot of those headshots, right? We knew that he had it in him, right? But to do it on such a stage and such a moment as well, just as it looked like the TG setup of Torbo up top was looking so strong. Xploidz, of course, the MVP in the end. 14 kills. Double the amount of kills of the most kills of the VQ. Right there on the scoreboard of that VQ player. Excellent stuff from F&I. Well-deserved map, and honestly, you know, you might be right, actually, Guy. I admit fully, TG was a really good pick for F&I, evidently.
Yeah, no, it really was. I just think when it comes down towards our 3 escalation maps, the other 2 of Vaskar and Harbor, both teams, Harbor, probably their worst out of the 3. But with Vaskar being one of their best, Vanquish, I think they just kind of, their play style is a little bit better for that map. on how they're just able to control the pace of it. And if Fire and Ice cannot get off to a hot start, Vanquish on Vascar is deadly. Ultimately, F&I, they got what they wanted on training grounds. It's better when it comes down towards the speed of their play style, the way the initials break out, and how quickly you can get a trip cap domination on this map. And Fire and Ice showed us that round after round. So, with that being said, hey, they're finally in this series with one map on the board, but it's not overweight yet. BQ, they chose to pick Speyer as map number 4. If you ask me, I think that's a flex.
Yeah, the flex? Sure, I mean, a good map for both teams, it's safe to say, but, I mean, in terms of the major, I spoke about it earlier in terms of Vasgar, F&I's really good performances on that. Well, VQ actually 3-1'd PK on the map this weekend. Meanwhile, of course, we know what happened in the really good F&I PK matchup. PK beat F&I on that map. So, hey, maybe that's some inclination as to who can win out on this one. VQ perhaps has the advantage on Speyer this weekend for that one. But, as we've seen, just on map number 3, anything can happen, really, on Major Day.
Yeah, anything can happen on Major Day, folks. It is so hard to predict these games. There's no point of even trying. Our analyst desk has even said that, hey, we're going to sit back and we're going to enjoy it. It's hard to call so many of these squads. Well, just our last 3 teams of the day, the last 12 players we got playing, they're the best in the world. So it just depends on who wants to show up and show out. We finally see Fire and Ice showing up to the series, and I can't say that because Clock Tower was around number 9, but they finally do get their first round on the board, and that's going to alleviate a little bit of pressure from them. Now, as we head into the Speyer control, Ryan called it. He says, hey, I don't know, when it comes down towards the execution, it can go either way between both these teams, and I'm actually in agreement with him that I will lean more into the favor of Fire and Ice if we do go to checkout. But first, they have to get past Speyer, and we saw them put a beat down on E United either today or yesterday on that map, which was super impressive.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Again, this is why it's such an exciting series, is because both teams are good at every map, right? There's no like weak map for any team. There's not like, oh, that team should definitely win. No, absolutely not. All cards are on the table for both teams, and really a high amount of commitment is safe to say to all these picks from these teams, given they're just going with what they're strong at, right? And it really, really goes to show how much is really going into these this pick and ban process for both these teams. And I wonder, both teams having such good performances on Speyer as of recent. It really is quite interesting that Vanquish went for the pick in the end on Speyer. Maybe, just maybe, the fact that they beat PK in the way they did might be the edge there. Or we could go back to, to the old classic point of Speyer still being a relatively new map, and VQ just thinking, hey, we've actually been scrimming a lot on this map recently. We know F&I really haven't been playing it too often. Maybe we can actually outperform them this. We've been perhaps they've been studying their game, where Fire and Ice really did an awesome performance earlier, right? And I wonder if that could be the difference maker for Vanquish here. And nonetheless, it's we can theory craft all day, guy, and the numbers can present themselves.
Yeah,
but
can.
It's anything on the day.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the map selection process, and my theories when it comes down towards the pick and bans is that Vanquish says that we understand how great you guys are on District. We want to get that map out the cycle. We don't want you guys to feel too comfortable there. But on the flip end, Fire and Ice says, Regency, you guys are really good there as well. Even though we're comfortable, we don't want that one. But when it comes down to picking, you get Speyer, which was picked by Vanquish in map number 4. I'm pretty sure they got a chance to be able to choose between which one of those maps they wanted to have at the end. But also, on the flip side, it's going to be Fire and Ice who will manage to put Reactor down, a map in which they've been good at, but Vanquish gave them a beat down. Now we move on over towards the executions. Tomb, Vanquish is really good at Tomb. Okay, we watched them win the Mid-Split playoffs on a fantastic comeback there against Rise, and I honestly don't feel like Fire and Ice want to deal with them there. But on the opposite end, Canals, those close quarter battles on the mid-bridge, the close quarter fight up top in the connectors, why take that 50-50 battle against Fire and Ice? You get that map out the cycle as well.
Totally agree. I don't think Vanquish would ever want to play Canals against Fire and Ice. They don't need to, right? Again, it's you hit the nail on the head. There's 50-50s, right? The reliance on the utility. They'd rather, rely on that utility on a different map or a different environment, like Clock Tower, as we were talking about in the break, right? That reliance on utility actually favors Vanquish a little bit more, perhaps. Clearly, based on the amount of times they were getting the snipe, and clearly the chemistry is there to really pull off that stuff. And perhaps they don't believe it's shown as much on Canals. Hey,
yeah, check out as the lesser of two evils when it comes down to check out on Canals. Yeah, because I feel like they play similarly.
Yeah, and that's the difference as well, even with District, right? Fire and Ice with 0-2 in Pro League. Meanwhile, Vanquish are extremely strong, 5-2 in Pro League on District. I'm sure Fire and Ice were like, you know what, we don't want to play District. There's no way on earth we want to play District Control. So clearly, right, there's a lot gone into the picks and bans. This is why it's so close between these two teams on these maps, and how it's so hard to call between the two. Definitely would be much more friendly for Fire and Ice here playing on Speyer, despite how VQ have been playing on it this weekend.
All right, folks, it is time for me to raise my voice with the official mic partner of Gears Esports. It will be Blue Microphones as we head into map number 4. It's Speyer, and Vanquish is looking to take this map and have a 1-map lead in the grand finals as they are looking to win another chip this season. But for LATAM, they know that they have a lot of faith in Fire and Ice, and they need to get a team in the grand finals from the winner's side of the bracket. But we'll see if they can overcome VQ, because when it comes down to it, so far in this series, they have been playing fantastic. But what a great initial for Fire and Ice, picking them 3 kills off the rip.
Exactly the start they needed, and look at that guy. They got the drop shot as well. They've got the nades. It's a full sweep across Speyer, and VQ have all spawned in one location on the side. This is how you need to start on Speyer control for Fire and Ice. They need to get ahead of the game. They need to be faster. They need to be outplaying the opponents of VQ. Here comes Hndles clutching up around the side. Dsylexic didn't have help. 30 seconds left on the hill, so a little bit of access point, but can that drop shot stop them? 1 kill comes in, perhaps a little bit of damage as well to Xysho. Xploidz trying to stay alive, but somehow Xysho goes through. Shots being missed by Xploidz.
Yeah, uncharacteristic as him. He had it lined up perfectly, but Xysho with a little creative strafe there forces him to miss the second and found an opportunity to win the fight. But what did that equate to? Well, Vanquish, they're set up at P2 currently, able to break down through the mid stairs after getting that kill to get the rotation in which they want. Now, when it comes down towards P1, they lose that battle, and they're going to be at a 30-point deficit as they're getting ready for the next hill. Power weapons come up in 50 seconds.
Yeah, 50 seconds is a long time in control, as you know, guys, so it really is just classic Gears now as Fire and Ice try and break down the setup of VQ, who are stretched across the entire width here of Speyer, right up to the corner. 2 players out front. They have the angle from up top. Not much to shoot at currently, given how far back VQ are, though. I love that stun from Acells. He tries a shot over the top, doesn't come through, so he's not going to risk trying to have a 1v or even a 1v2 across the top.
Now, as you're going to start to see here, Fire and Ice, as they're looking to break this setup. So far, they have this hill contested, and they want to take the 2v2 fight out wide to see if they can get their best chance in this position. And so far, it's a great call, but Xysho with a quick revive and a nice shot. He lets his teammate know that, hey, we could press up on this just a bit. Fire and Ice, they're not ready for this fight, but Vanquish, you see that they disengage. They're going to force Fire and Ice to have to take this one from a different angle, but as we can see, Toti with 2 nades in hand. Let's see, what can he do with them?
I know. Drop shot up as well behind them. They'll definitely be thinking about that, will Fire and Ice, because they're not going on it just yet. But Toti is close enough with the nades instead. Yeah, he will go back to the drop shot. And as that's picked up, Precision perhaps looking for a 1v elsewhere. VQ realize they are outgunned as it stands, but they are getting positional advantage and still leveraging that. Do find Fearzly as well in the process, and I guess with all those points gone, Blaze, they're just considering, hey, let's just back off. That was a great call. There we go. The 1v comes through as well from Precision.
Great call from Toti, whoever made it on the side of Fire and Ice, because the hill was contested so long. By the time Toti realized that, bro, I got drop shot, I got nades, there was about 40 seconds left in the hill. Vanquish also knew that, man, Fire and Ice, they're starting to play for next. We have to be progressive and get these kills. And ultimately, Vanquish, they only got themselves, they wasn't even get the lead off that hill, and they rotated so much earlier than Fire and Ice. But now, Vanquish, they get Precision over towards next. He's staying alive longer than he probably should, but in the end, Fire Knights will get the kills in which they need, and now that early rotation is about to pay dividends.
That was such a long secret man for Precision, that. You're right, he was alive for such a long time, and he was the ticket for VQ to push in, but Fire Knights were very careful around that pillar. Clearly, lots of comms around that one. Drop shot, you mentioned it, right? Toti, great call from him. As now he's got 2 nades. He just dropped, ready for his teammate to throw at the same time that he can perhaps throw this drop shot out. Spread the risk, if you will, if one of them were to be taken out. 3 players of VQ right at the front now, ready to go in. Utility being thrown. Toti making distance. He doesn't want to shock about. He wants to use the drop shot. Not going to connect with it, though. And somehow, Acells gets through. Toti gets dropped in the process. They clean up the down, though. Xploidz tries to fight back, but he will fall as well. And suddenly, VQ do get through. And it seems like this map has been on for like 7-8 minutes already, guy, but we haven't seen much score between either teams just yet because they're that closely matched and they're playing control so well.
It's honestly been a chess match between both these squads up until this point. And with that missed drop shot, it was unfortunate, but Fire Knights, they just had to start thinking about the next hill afterwards. And so as we're rotating back up towards up top, need to be up soon. Multiple kills coming through for both these squads, but Acells from downtown with a drop shot gives his team a little advantage, but ultimately kind of ended off in a 1v1. Xysho, Fearzly, as everybody else was coming off respawns in their respective areas of the map, Xysho gets caught off guard and his death will be staggered. So as we rotate here down towards the drop shot where the new hill will be, Vanquish did spawn in this area of the map, but Precision, he will lose his life. And currently Fire Knights, they're feeling comfortable in this team fight.
Yes, they are. They've got the cross, golden cross at that. It's very rare you get an angle like this from map control all the way down bottom, straight through a window. Dsylexic picks up 1 kill. VQ still fighting, though. Toti with an excellent nade, keeping things under wraps for VQ. Oh, no, but somehow Xysho turns around and gets the kill on Fearzly. Toti still eager to hold on to map control, though. And it remains a 2v2 unless he can get a lot of damage. There we go. The Lancer angles start coming in. Dsylexic, he tries to close the gap, but Xysho again somehow staying alive, guy, keeping VQ in this.
Now, as you're to see, VQ, they pick up the remaining few kills, and they will be able to lock in P4 on the map. With about 40 seconds left in the hill, you see Vanquish, they're starting to press out, play for next at well. Fire Knights, they're spread out. That hill is going to be in the bottom left of the mini map. With a kill coming through for Vanquish, they will have a man advantage. What a pistol! The teamwork, they get it down. And now you're going to start to see Fearzly try to stay alive, regroup with Dsylexic, regroup with Toti towards the spawn, and allow their teammates to just have a better footing in this fight when they are able to get to them. But Vanquish will not give them the peace of mind to set up, to talk about strategy. They finally hunt down the last 2 players, and now the rest of Fire Knights, they have to slow down and regroup. Drop shot just spawned.
Absolute masterclass from VQ. So impressive they even made it from this location here all the way to next, despite all the damage coming from up top. And now for Fire Knights, of course, though, it's not over just yet. Drop shot, and I believe nades they're fighting for now as well. They do have time to work with. It's still early in this game just yet. Look at this positioning from Xysho, though. The nuisance at the back, and he will get a kill with his efforts. Drop shot ready to go any moment. Acells trapped in the corner. I wonder, is Xploidz going to throw it out soon or not? I'm not sure if he's even used it, but Acells somehow getting up close and personal, taking out Xploidz. That's the drop shot gone. And just like that, that one play might actually guarantee VQ the rest of this hill.
Now, with 40 seconds remaining, Vanquish would be feeling really comfortable to lock in all of this time. And with the lead in which they already have, they're just caught marking players. They see 2 retreating. So what type of intel does that give them? It gave everybody the intel that it's time to rotate. There's no point of us staying here. Fire Knights, they're not going to be in position to contest this. So there's no point of us staying. Let's see if we can beat them to some key power positions. But we see Fire Knights, they do a great job setting up a trap. But that's a double kill for Xysho. The rotation was just nullified by the plays from Xysho in the moment. And this spawn should go in favor of the side of Vanquish. And Xysho sees that they spawn close, so he's going to get deep back here towards library as far back as he can. And so far, so good.
Absolutely so. Honestly, it's just the outplaying moments, right? It's that masterclass from VQ that has given them this edge and score. It was only moments ago, it seems like, where they were neck and neck for, what, 6-7 minutes. But here we are, VQ starting to pull away almost 100-point lead, and it's all because of these last 3 hills that they've been able to just do the absolutely impossible. And FNI, despite some really good plays, are starting to be left behind now. And VQ are just being so impressive as a result. Spread out right now. FNI are going to have to get the numbers back and really hold on and try and take their opportunities to push.
Yeah, and I gotta agree with you there. You know what? It comes down to that one missed drop shot from Fire and Ice. They connect on that. I think they have the lead. They're in a better spot than what they were before. But ever since that team fight at Globe, you saw Vanquish just pull away from there towards the mid hill, back over towards Well, and now we're on the opposite side of the map over here towards this library. Vanquish, they're almost eclipsed that 200-point marker. Fire and Ice with 2 players in his hill and 1 down. He will get revived. Vanquish finds a kill. Xploidz plays his life, but Acells, he's going to make sure he can get points and fight at the same time. Just absolutely multitasking on the map. Vanquish, they will finally break the 200-point marker, and now Fire and Ice has to give it everything they got as we head back to P1.
Look at that difference right there on that last hill. VQ just walked on through, strolled on through to get the rest of those points. FNI crumbling there. And they even lost another drop shot in that process, guy. Not sure if he knows. It was only because Toti and others were clutching up the shotgun that he was even close on that hill, right? So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, 2.
Definitely a consideration again. Yeah, the FNI have lost 2 opportunities. That you can't give up your opportunities like that. Here we are, though. VQ with the angle from map control. They've got the hill. 2 players of Fire and Ice completely out of position right now. All you need is VQ now to just hold this setup, really, and a 2v2 hold up top should be relatively easy. Keep your distance. Even now they're pressuring with the damage. Fearzly in a lot of trouble. Toti trying to chain revive through, but Fearzly and Toti will fall nonetheless. But Xploidz is here to play.
Also, Acells, man, he played his position well down low, just staying alive. And he knew that his teammates were going to take the 3v2 at the stairs, and the other 2 members of Fire and Ice was going to rotate up. He just stayed annoying, putting out a Lancer through mid-map, making sure that he can control the respawns. He's giving his team a lot of intel on where Fire and Ice is spawning, and that's why we see so much focus fire at these stairs. And now Acells will get a new drop shot as well for for Vanquish to use in a late game as we're rotating towards P2 in our second rotation. Precision getting flamed. He goes down. Fire and Ice, they're looking good with the setup, but the drop shot is out, and soon a pair of grenades are going to be in play as well.
And the difference maker now, of course, later on in this control match is that Vanquish have time to play with, right? They can wait for power weapons. They can do exactly what FNI did earlier, right? And make sure no points are gained. Just hold the stalemate and just wait for them to get any other hill, right? They've trapped them in the corner on this third of Speyer, and V could simply just turn around at any moment, right? And go for the next hill whenever they please. Such a really easy setup it is on Speyer, but hey, a drop shot to use for Acells could be exactly what they need to win the game here and now.
The Fire and Ice fans are hoping Vanquish look like the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl, but on the flip end, I think they're more so on the side of the Patriots. As Vanquish, they're looking composed in the red zone as the time is just ticking up. 5 more points needed for them. With the setup, with the power weapons, Vanquish in the winners finals will dominate and move on to the grand finals with a 1-map lead, looking to win their 3rd event of the season. Man, what a performance from them. They definitely woke up and showed up here on Championship Sunday.
Hey, if this is how good they play, how flawless they play, Blaze, on their first game of the day, hey, I think you have to be very worried as to whoever finds them in the grand final. What a truly good performance. Absolutely so. With such close match maps, as we discussed throughout the entire series, for them to do the performances that they did, to win the close match on Clock Tower, twice in a row, as mentioned, on Clock Tower in Pro League, for them to do all of this, right, and come back from adversity on TG, historically a very good map for VQ to play on, and for the fact that they lost that and then still did what they did on Speyer, despite it being that close, like that tug of war going on at the start of Speyer, then to come away and just win by that many points. Hey, it really shows just absolute class on VQ's side. Really an enemy to be reckoned with for the future. And, you know, Ryan Fools might be right. This might be the transition period of truly a dominating team going forward. We have a lot of really good competitors at the top at the moment. But I don't know, Blaze, I think VQ just has that edge for some reason that really just puts them over the top of the rest of the competition.